Hey everyone, it's Steve here from socialtransformation.us, and today I wanted to share with you guys a brand new study that just came out. I just heard about it yesterday, and it actually had a pretty remarkable finding in it. The goal of the study was to see what is the best solution for people who have social anxiety disorder. And the researchers gathered up a bunch of participants who were diagnosed with social anxiety disorder, and they broke them down into 4 different groups. The first group was participants that had just received cognitive therapy. And the second group was a group of participants that had just received medication. And the third group was participants who had received a combination of both medication and therapy. And the fourth group was a control group where the participants were just receiving a placebo pill, which, as you guys know, placebo pills, they don't have any real medical value. People are just being told that they're getting a prescription of a drug, but in fact it's just a sugar pill or something that has no real effects. Now, typically psychologists will recommend that a combination of both medication and therapy is usually more effective than either one on its own. But this study actually found something a little bit different. What happened was, immediately after the treatment, they measured everyone's social anxiety levels again, and they found that people who had received just therapy were doing just as well as people who had received a combination of medicine and therapy. But the more interesting thing is that they did another follow-up a year later, and they found that people who had just received therapy actually were doing a lot better than those who received the combination of medicine and therapy. So it appears, based on this study, that just taking therapy was actually better than the combination of medication and therapy. So why is this? The researchers theorized that medication can sometimes have harmful effects on people that want to overcome social anxiety, because it actually masks the real problems that often contribute to social anxiety. And by masking these symptoms, people are inhibited from actually learning the coping skills or social skills that are necessary for overcoming social anxiety disorder. In addition to medication masking these real effects of social anxiety disorder and inhibiting people from learning the skills necessary to overcome their social anxiety, you always have to worry about negative side effects that can come with medications, as well as dependency. Because a lot of the times when people start taking a medication, they become super dependent on it, and it becomes hard to wean themselves off of it. And when they do start reducing their intake, the social anxiety symptoms tend to come back because they haven't actually learned the skills needed to overcome social anxiety. In fact, many times people who are prescribed medications, their bodies begin to get more used to it. So the drug becomes less effective over time, and psychiatrists often have to increase doses or start mixing it with other medications just to be able to sustain those effects, which obviously can increase the likelihood of more dependency and more negative side effects. So many times being prescribed medication can become sort of a downward spiral of being more and more dependent on these medications just to be able to function normally. So these are definitely things to keep in mind if you're thinking about being prescribed medication for social anxiety disorder. But of course, I'm a realist, and I understand that anxiety disorders are often influenced by our biology. There's probably a genetic component to it for some people, and medication, I know for a fact, can help some people. So I'm not against medication entirely. I'm not one of those people, but I do think we should probably leave medication for a last resort, because it does often come with these negative side effects, and as this study shows, it's more of a temporary solution to social anxiety rather than a long-term solution, and it can inhibit you from actually learning better methods healthier methods and more long-term methods for actually being able to cope with your social anxiety and build the social skills you need to function in your social world.